Today in this video, I want to show you why you're maybe not as lonely as you think and how you can get out of that spiral of tinnitus and loneliness, which actually stands in your way of getting habituated and feeling better with your tinnitus. So, like when you're stuck with tinnitus and it just for so long feels there's nothing really you can do, and you start to believe that no one can understand it like you do, and that you're like one of the only person on this earth who feels like this towards their tinnitus, and that isolation that you feel, right? This feelings of frustration and the feeling of, you're the only one who experiences exactly this. It's not real, it's imagined. And I'm going to tell you why. It's one of the biggest things why tinnitus is so difficult and hard to live with. Because our brains are incredible at creating certain stories around the reality that we're perceiving, and it constantly makes sense of our experiences and what we are experiencing in the world right now. When tinnitus shows up and no one else seems to hear this, because the people, your friends and family or people around in your life say, well, you can hear that ringing or you can hear that sound, but I really can't. Then our brain is actually saying, okay, I'm alone with this. I'm all on my own on this. And this, from a survival pace of view, right? That's something that's incredibly dangerous, because we're super social creatures and we haven't evolved to deal with problems on our own. Usually we deal with problems in a group and people understand each other, right? So we're wired to be super social, and when there is something that threatens us, that we don't really understand as such at first, and the group says, I have no idea what this is, then that is interpreted by the brain as a threat. So even though the isolation isn't real, the reaction to that perceived isolation is definitely real. So your nervous system kicks into very high alert, constantly releasing cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones, that really drains you. Your body feels drained, and you feed that back to the tinnitus and say, my tinnitus leaves me feeling so drained, I'm isolated, I'm alone, and no one else feels like this. So the tinnitus then feels louder, more intrusive, and scarier. But it's not really that the tinnitus has changed. It's how the brain feels towards the tinnitus what has changed. And that's really the most important part. The truth is, really, you're not alone at all.